Hey, I'm Melissa. I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a wife and I have two beautiful children. I'm also an RN full-time, and I guess I'm doing this on the side. And I also sell Younique cosmetics as well for my little side hustle. Anyway, my YouTube channel is going to have tutorials on hair and makeup and other things that I think are fun that interest me. I'm sure as all of you with kids out there know that being a mom is very expensive and you got to do what you can to keep it bright, keep it tight. So anyway, if you have any ideas for future YouTube tutorials you want me to do, just leave them in the comments. You can also follow me on Facebook, Melissa Lenore Online, or you can follow my Instagram, melissa.lenore. So tonight I am going to dinner. This is my friend Sherelle's birthday party, so I'm going to show you guys how I got ready tonight to go to dinner. All right, have a good day.
Yeah, not so much. Okay, to begin, I'm using my favorite moisturizer, which is made by Pond's. I tend to be more on the oily side, but this moisturizer really makes my skin smooth without being greasy. Oh, and I'm just going to give the disclaimer that my kids are going to be running around and eating snacks in the background. Mom life. My living room has the best natural light, so that's where I'm set up today. Next, I'm using a beauty blender I bought at Sephora for about $20. If you don't use one of these, they're really worth the investment. It gives you a smooth and even finish and works great for blending and contouring. Just make sure you get the sponge wet before use. The foundation I'm using is Maybelline Matte Mousse Foundation in Porcelain Ivory. I'm really fair skinned, so usually the most geisha shade on the shelf is what I match with in the wintertime. When I lived in Vegas, my old coworkers used to call me Twilight Nurse, so I've kind of learned to embrace it. I used to be a slave to the tanning bed until one of my college instructors threw out the statistic that 70% of wrinkles are caused by sun damage. I was not trying to look like a leather purse, so I quit that. I never went to the tanning bed again. I go to spray tan maybe once or twice a year for an event, but I'd rather be pale than wrinkly. Anyway, for the foundation, I usually put it all over my face except for my eye area. Okay, so the next product I'm using is called Shadow Insurance by Too Faced. This is an anti-crease eyeshadow primer. I don't usually wear this every day because I wake up at 4:45 in the morning to be at work at 6. But I like wearing it when I'm going out at night or to an event because it really makes your eyeshadow pop and makes it have staying power, and it's great for pictures. I'm just using my fingers on both of my eyes just to rub it in. It goes on, it's pretty thin, so it goes on pretty easy. It's like a really thin moisturizer that's a little bit tinted. After the primer, I'm applying Maybelline Instant Age Rewind Concealer in Fair. I like to even out my skin color on dark circles and on my eyes prior to eyeshadow, so it's like a clean canvas. I use the sponge applicator on the end, which saves me from having to use a different brush to apply. Again, I just use the sponge and then rub it in with my fingers. Okay, so I just have to give this disclaimer about my brows. They are not, and I'm putting this in air quotes, on fleek in this tutorial. I was watching the playback after I filmed this and was like, my brows are riding the struggle bus. So I went back in and filled them in after I got done filming and before I took pictures. The pencil I used is by Younique. It's an eyeliner pencil in brown, but it's interchangeably you can use it interchangeably as an eyebrow pencil. I'm aspiring to improve my eyebrow game this year. It's one of my bucket lists. On to eyeshadow, my favorite. The first one that I'm using is a MAC shadow called Saddle. Clearly I've had it a while because you can't read the writing on the back. MAC makes great eyeshadow. It's a little bit more expensive, but it lasts a long time and stays on throughout the day or night. I use all different brands of eyeshadow. I have a few of my favorites, but I like to mix it up. I'm not specific to one brand. The brush I'm using is a basic blending brush, shadow brush. I'm just applying it right above my crease to create a little smoke off what will be a darker color in the crease. The second eyeshadow I'm using is called L'Oreal 24-Hour Infallible in the color Ice Latte. I prefer to wear mostly matte eyeshadows on a day-to-day basis because I think the shimmer ones add to me looking like a total grease ball by the end of the day. But I'll wear them out at night if it's only for a few hours. For this, I'm just using a basic fluffy eyeshadow brush to apply to my lid. The last eyeshadow I'm using is by Makeup Forever. I believe the color is Espresso. All I remember is it was the darkest color brown they had, and it's what I most commonly use for my smoky eyes. I love, love, love their eyeshadow. I think that they have the best pigment out of any eyeshadow I've tried, and they're very true to color when you apply them. You can also buy this brand at Sephora. The brush I'm using is a contouring brush by Eyes Lips Face. It's a pretty firm brush, so it deposits more color on at a time on the lid. You don't really have to stroke it as I am here. Even if you just kind of blot it, kind of dab it on there, it really deposits the color nice on your eyelid. To finish out my eyeshadow, I just went back in with that brush that I initially used for the inside part of my lid, the bigger eyeshadow brush, and I'm just kind of blending out the top part of my smoky eye upwards, just to make sure it doesn't have a definite line of, where the color is deposited. Then I went back in, I got a little bit more of that lighter shade on my brush, just to go back on it one more time to make the inside corner of my eye really pop. So the thing I get most commonly asked, especially at work, is how I line my eyes and what product I use. My favorite eyeliner of all time is Revlon Telescopic in black. I like it because the applicator is a firm felt tip, but the liquid is more viscous than a lot of its competitors. And when you put it on your eye, it's really, really dark and it actually stays. I think this eyeliner is pretty user-friendly for people who are new to liquid eyeliner because you can literally just kind of roll the brush and lay it on its side in a downward motion. You don't have to use the very tip to apply. You can kind of use the whole one. See how I'm laying it on my eye right here? You can just kind of lay it and make a straight line. And if you screw up, you can go back in with a pencil eyeliner if you want to, or back in with the liquid if you're fumbling a little bit to make your line more precise. So to complete the wing, you just connect the outside part to the downward corner of your eye. For my lashes, I'm using Younique's Moodstruck 3D Mascara. I'm going to do a more in-depth tutorial on this mascara in the future, so just look out for that. So I'm just going to do a quick overview here. One tube is a gel that looks much like a regular mascara. The other wand is has all the little fibers on it that bind to your lashes in the gel. And to set the fibers on your eyelashes, you just apply a second coat of the gel. I've always been obsessed with mascara, and I feel naked if I'm not wearing it. This mascara is awesome once you get used to applying it. It's common to get some fallout from the fibers when you first start using it because there are so many of those fibers packed in the little tube. If you do get some fallout on your cheeks below your eyes, it's really easy to get off. You just take like a fluffy blush brush or a powder brush and just kind of sweep it off gently. They come right off. Or if you get it on your top lid, a little more blending isn't going to hurt anything. Just take your fluffy blush brush or a eyeshadow brush and just kind of sweep it off. So on a day-to-day basis, I usually wear 2 coats of mascara to work. So that would include the fibers and the gel as 1 coat. But if I'm going out, say if I'm going to dinner or if I'm going to an event, I usually wear 3 coats if I really need to feel like, yes, when I step out the house. The last step for my eyes, I'm going to go back in with the MAC Saddle eyeshadow that I used before, and I'm going to provide a little smoke underneath. My general rule is I apply it as low as the first wrinkle crease under my eye. I pretty much quit wearing eyeliner on the bottom after I learned how to do this. It feels awkward putting it on the bottom at first when you do it, but my best advice would be to take a selfie and see how it looks. Okay, cue the eye rolls. Not necessarily for posting purposes, but it's like the same effect of looking in the mirror versus if you see yourself in a picture. Okay, on to contouring. My contouring palette is made by NARS and the color is Olympia. They also have a darker option that you can buy at Sephora. So this last week I had to pour out some liquor for this palette because my son had gotten a hold of it and threw it off the counter and it ended up in a billion pieces. Hashtag mom life. But back to business. I'm just using my fingers to apply some of the lighter shade to the middle of my nose and right below my eyes because I'm getting every cent worth of this $40 ratchetness of a palette. Then I'm going to use a concealer brush to apply to the sides of my nose and a fluffy powder brush to apply under my cheekbones to create depth. I heard a rumor about myself from back home that I've had a nose job, and I'm totally flattered because I definitely have not. That's the power of contouring. So you can really use any fluffy powder brush, or if you fancy, buy a contouring brush from Sephora, and you dust it just right underneath your cheekbones in the crease, and I like to put it on my temples and on the top edges of my forehead as well as on my jawline. For blush, I use City Color Be Matte Blush in Melon. I'm not a huge fan of blush, so I try to use it sparingly. I just put it on right above my contouring line. You have to be really careful because you can go from zero to rosacea real quick. Last but not least, for my kisser, I'm wearing NYX Waterproof Lip Liner in red, and my lipstick may or may not be Wet n Wild. My sisters give me so much crap for wearing Wet n Wild, but I don't care because I think Wet n Wild is great. Is a great way to try new colors, especially lip colors, because it's only a few bucks. They aren't long lasting, but they work great for just a few hours, such as if you're going to dinner or if you're going to a movie. Definitely wouldn't be something that I would recommend wearing to work, but for this, it's good enough. To apply the lip liner, I just basically go within the natural lip line of my lips, and then I color in. It's pretty much coloring like when you're a little kid. And then I go back in with the lipstick over top of that. If you wear lip liner, I find that it doesn't bleed into your skin as much, and it tends to hold the color better than if you just, put lipstick right onto your lips. Here's the money shot of my Ratchet palette. So I'm just going back in and going over where I bronzed before. I usually do this as my final step just to get that really nice glow after I'm done because, I don't know, I love wearing bronzer. So, oh yeah, there we go. And then the other thing that I do, I guess I'll go in and use the brow gel, even though I ended up fixing my brows again after this. But usually when I'm filling in my brows, I'll use, see, these are way uneven. But anyway, after I do my eyeshadow, sometimes I get some fallout on my eyebrows. That Sonia, I think her last name is Kushkik, whatever. It's from Target. She makes a really great gel that I just can go in there and put one final coat over my eyebrows to make that brown really pop. The other thing that I do is I'll put concealer around my lips and blend it in with my blending bud because I think it works great to just give you that really definite line. It really makes your lips pop if you use a little bit of concealer to kind of brighten up your lip area before you're all the way finished. See, I got the real close-up, and then I looked and I said, oh wait, that eyebrow is not the same size as the other one. I'll have to go back and fix that. Well, that does it for my first YouTube tutorial. Leave me suggestions in the comments on what you would like to see me do a tutorial on, whether it be makeup, hair, or anything else. You can purchase Younique products on my website, melissalenore.com, or you can also follow me on Instagram at melissa.lenore, and don't forget to subscribe to my Facebook page. Thanks for watching!